Good afternoon, all. A very warm welcome to all the attendees of this session. And it's now a nice time to introduce the speaker of the day, Dr. Rajesh Verma, Professor and Dean, Mittal School of Business, Lovely Professional University. A little introduction of his continues as he has excelled in the areas of market orientation, political marketing, business models, marketing research, and strategic management. Having 19 plus years of experience, he has acted as a resource person in more than 35 faculty development programs and has organized 8 national and international level conferences and workshops. He has published 18 case studies and around 50 research papers in journals and has done enormous amount of work in publishing books. He has also received a Research Appreciation Award from Honorable Minister of Human Resource Development, Government of India. So it's over to you, Dr. Verma, for the content of the day.
Thank you, Rishiji. Good evening, everyone. And I hope all of you are fine and safe at your home in this COVID time. So I think today's audience probably is all from LPU, and they would know, most of them would know the culture of LPU and most of the things about LPU. So I'll keep myself limited only to the MBA program and the culture we have probably in the business school, right? So let me get into the topic. We have the topic for today is why MBA at LPU, right? And I'll take you through this brief presentation, which probably would have 5 sections. Primarily one, I'll briefly give you something about the school I am from, or the school which offers MBA at Lovely Professional University. Then I'll talk briefly about the industry trends, so what industry trends are there, uh, and what is the expectation from the students. Then what all MBA options are there, right? And what all value additions one should have in MBA program. And finally, we would have question and answers from all of you. So I think when I'm talking about MBA program, all these things are important, which I have mentioned in front of you, right? So I'll quickly take each one of them so that we have sufficient time for question and answers with you all. You would know, but LPU started in the year 2001, and Mittal School of Business, though the name was different, was the first management institution established by LPU, right? So the first school of LPU is management school. So we are proud of that, and it was established in year 2001. And if you look at now, we have already have 2 decades of experience in providing quality education in management discipline. NRIF ranking is one of the most prestigious ranking in the country because it is given by Government of India and Ministry of Education. So it is authentic, and in that ranking, our school is ranked amongst the top 50 B schools in the country. Right? And to be precise, our rank is 49, but overall, we feel proud of being in the 50 club of the country. That means the 50 top business schools of the country. Then we have the accreditation of ACBSP USA for our programs, and we were the amongst first 10 institutions accredited by ACBSP in the country. And we are the first institution in LPU to be accredited by an international accrediting agency. So the fourth point is discipline. We have management, commerce, and economics, and I hope all of you would be aware of that. Block 14 is the school, and there we have management, commerce, and economics program. and more than 25 programs are running in our school. And then in terms of diversity, all of you are well aware that LPU has a rich diversity of people from different countries and states. But if you only look at the business school, we would have more than 350 students from 25 different countries. And we would have students from all states of India. So that's the kind of diversity we have. So this is a quick, brief introduction of the school so that you are familiar of that. This is what, if you take an admission, this is where you would be joining us with these kind of features, right? Now, the second point is industry trends. Now, I think before I go into the specific industry trend, let me talk about, I hope the image you see in front of you, you see a lot of rivers are meeting the sea. So I call MBA as a sea, right? Where all other streams they can match, right? For example, if you read this statement, you can see the way most rivers meet the sea, all disciplines for a better career meets MBA. MBA is the only discipline, MBA is the only program where the students from any discipline are welcome, right? Because it adds value to their career. So if it is arts, right? If it is BA, you can do MBA. If it is pharmacy, you can do MBA. If it is law, you can do MBA. If it is hotel management, you can do MBA, right? If it is architecture, if it is design, fashion, whatever discipline one can be in, the MBA program can definitely add value to their career, right? So that's why I call MBA program as a sea, where all rivers they come and meet, right? So that's the best part of MBA. So that's why if you look at the eligibility criteria of the program, right? Anybody from any stream can join, except for one program where we have added statistics or mathematics. But otherwise, in all MBA programs, people from all stream can join. So now I'll give you a few industry trends which affects all the disciplines, right? So you may be from any discipline, but these trends would affect your career for sure, right? For example, it says 154%. What does it mean? The amount of global artificial intelligence software market, right? So artificial intelligence, I'm sure all of you would have heard artificial intelligence. So that is, it is growing by 154%. Now you talk about healthcare, pharmacy, right? Artificial intelligence is actually changing the way healthcare is provided, healthcare services are provided, or healthcare research is being done. You talk about fashion, you talk about hotel management, you talk about any discipline, and it is the artificial intelligence which is affecting the business of that sector. Second, 95% of the firms across all sectors, be it hotel, be it healthcare, be it law, be it agriculture, any sector you talk of, there is a lot of data being created. And that data is unstructured. And the companies don't know what to do with that data, how to manage that data. This is another important trend which almost every sector is facing. Then the third important trend is 52% of marketers cite driving growth through digital transformation. Now, I'm sure that I'm talking to a very digitally literate audience. All of you would know digital better than me, right? So you also know the implication, right? Because you watch Amazon Prime or you watch Netflix, you order on Amazon, whatever you do, right? You do Facebook, you Twitter, whatever you are doing, it is creating a lot of data, and that data is largely through digital, right? So these three trends which I'm talking of, there are n number of trends which I can talk of, but these three are the major trends which probably is affecting any industry. Any industry, when I'm saying any industry, means we talk about any sector. So automation, digital, and innovations are changing the way work is being done. And the best part of these changes is, you call it best or you call it worst, but it impacts all disciplines and all sectors, right? So that's one trend which I'm talking of. And later on, I'll tell you how an MBA program would cater to these changes, right? Because if the world is changing and we don't change, then there is no point of doing MBA, right? So that's where I'll come to that, how these changes will get to these changes. So this is what I'm saying with the statement I just gave you, is that a new world demands new skill. If the world is becoming digital, world is having more of artificial intelligence, world is having more data, the way of functioning becoming different. Let us say, if I talk of agriculture also, right? How the entire analysis is being done, that what kind of a soil, what kind of production does it yield, the data for over the years have been researched, and then you decide upon which seed to be sown. And that seed, how that seed has been created, again, a lot of data and analytics and digital goes into it. So you think of it, so there's hardly any discipline which probably doesn't require new skills. So all of us require new skills, and I'll give you again a factual base of it. So whatever I'm talking, I'm not talking from my own perception. I'm talking about the way researches are being done. Now, World Economic Forum, I think if you have heard about this organization, which is World, it decides upon how the economy works globally. It says 50% of all employees would need reskilling by 2025. That means the people who are already working in the industry, they would need a reskilling because the existing skills become obsolete. So when the existing people requires new skill, that means all of us who are yet to enter the industry would definitely need to have some new skills with us, right? So that's why is the point which I want to highlight here. But this is the main slide. If you look at World Economic Forum says that by 2025, and that's the time probably if you decide to enter the MBA today, you will actually be entering the industry by 2024, right? 2023, 2024, that's the year which probably you would enter the industry and you would need these skills. And what are these skills? Look at these skills now. It says analytical thinking is required. Sorry. The first is analytical thinking is required, right? Second is active learning and learning strategies. I'll not go into details of every skill here, but because you understand that at LPU we have always been talking about these skills. But the only point is these skills are more to do with management rather than the other disciplines, right? So active learning, then complex problem solving, then critical thinking, creativity, leadership, technology use, technology design, resilience, reasoning, right? So I'm not going into detail. I'll go into detail of few other skills in the next slide. But if you look at these top skills relate to problem solving, right? If you look at the highlighter, where the highlighter is being shown, it is problem solving here, right? It is self-management, it is working with the people, and it is technology use and development. All of them have a clear-cut management focus, which is generally missing in other disciplines which you are part of. So the skills that you require apart from technical skills. Now, I'm not saying technical skills are not important. Technology, look at this, technology design, again, very important. But the other skills which you are looking at here, these skills are more to do with management skills, managerial skills. And that's what is the focus of the MBA program, right? That's what is the focus of MBA program. So that's why this program actually would definitely add value to your learning and make you highly employable when you are exiting the program by 2024. Now, what is expected from the student post-COVID, right? I'm not talking about COVID. All of you are now for 1.5 years understand what COVID has done to our country and to the entire world, right? But I'll talk about what is expected from the students, right? First is technology savviness. I'm sure all of you would understand this, that the sectors which are more technology savvy and the people who were more technology savvy were able to survive. You would have seen many companies which were earlier not technology savvy have shifted to become, have started using technology more. Work from home demands understanding of technology, right? So you might be from, let us say, animation department. Now, if you cannot go to the company, that means you have to do work from your home. So how would you do animation at home? So that means again technology savviness is required to do meetings, conduct meeting, everything technology savviness is required. Data literacy. I told you, talk about any sector, what are the trends? We talk about agriculture, how we will analyze the data of rainfall for the last 3 years, and then we decide what would be the rainfall this year. So again, a lot of data is being analyzed, right? So all of you need to have that skill, and I told you a lot of data is being generated. Huge data is being generated all around. Everything we are doing right now, you are in the session with me, and this session, when you enrolled, is converted data. I am talking to you, is being converted into data. Video recording is being done, again data, right? But this data, what do you do with this data? So somebody should be able to analyze and take decisions. I should be able to analyze the trends in fashion industry. If I am from fashion discipline, I need to analyze the trends of pandemics, right? If I am in pharmacy or pharmaceutical industry, right? So this data literacy is again of far importance for everyone. This is what industry expects now, that every student should come with data literacy. Critical thinking, objective analysis, right? If we have, let us say, if vaccine is being developed, clinical trials are required. Why clinical trials are required? On whom the clinical trials are being done, right? So any issue you have in hand, you'll have to think about it critically, objectively. You cannot just say that I feel like this, so this is how it is true. You need to take viewpoint of both the sides. If you are thinking from one perspective, you need to have an understanding of other perspective. Then resilience. Resilience is recover quickly from difficulties. I'll give you an example which all of you would be able to relate. 22nd March was the date when the pandemic was, though it was 13th March, but then 22nd March was the date when lockdown was announced. And within 1 week time, all of you would agree with this, that at LPU we started with the online classes, and that too as per the timetable. When other institutions are till today struggling to hold classes, how to hold classes, how to hold exams, we did it within 1 week's time. So that's what is resilience. Very important skill required in today's environment. Very, very important skill which is required in today's environment. Completely uncertain environment. And in this uncertain environment, resilience is the skill which everyone should have. We should be able to change as fast as we can change. Now, again, let me tell you why this is required. Now, let us assume if the companies also start thinking the same way, that now lockdown is announced, and let us wait for when the country would open up. They would not be able to survive. So we cannot just sit and think about it, right? So company need people who can immediately bounce back in the situation. Similarly, adaptability and flexibility, creativity and innovation, emotional intelligence, for example, if companies are, you would have heard the news, when the lockdown was announced, a lot of companies, they asked their employees to go home. Salaries were deducted. Now, as a person, you need to have an empathy. How would people survive? So as a manager, as an employee, you need to have the understanding of both the sides. But if I'm giving salaries, but there is no business, where would money come? So how would the businessman survive? So you cannot think only from one side, you need to have a balance of understanding, right? So these are the skills which the companies are looking at when you pass out. So do you have what it takes to be a leader in this digital age, right? And I'm sure you, as of now, you would all be struggling with these questions in your mind. But the way forward is you need to have an MBA program that would help students develop both the mindset and the skill set to navigate the challenges ahead, right? And I told you, MBA is a program which adds value to any discipline, right? You can talk of think about any one area where probably you don't need managers. Think about one area where you don't need people to manage things, right? Or think any one company where they don't hire MBAs. So that means throughout all the sectors, we would need MBA people, and MBA, because it can give you those skills which can help you navigate the challenge where a lot of environment is uncertain. So I'm quickly coming to the third, what all options are available, right? And I'll talk about the new age specialization, which would definitely give you an understanding of uh, how the skills which I just talked about, they are being provided to the students in the MBA program. So it is not that I just talked about the changes and challenges, but then our MBA program does not prepare the students for that. So that's where the answer lies, right? Why should one do MBA? Because we have that MBA program has the capability. And let me tell you, the points which I am giving you, you compare LPU MBA with any other MBA and then take a wise decision, right? So whatever I will be talking about, those are the pointers for you to compare, right? So don't go just by what I am saying. You compare all the MBA programs of all the institutions you are considering, and then decide which MBA program should you be going for, right? So I'm talking about MBA again. I told you the first skill I told you was technology savviness. So the MBA program we have designed, uh, and we have changed it in last 1 year. We have made it more technology oriented. So spreadsheet modeling and analysis is one technology course, business statistics and analytics another, research methodology third course, data analytics using R, business intelligence and data visualization, and then emerging technologies. We'll teach you all the technologies which are actually currently being used by the companies. Now, this might scare a few people, right? Let us say somebody who has done a BA Arts and he says, sir, how would I do data analytics using R, right? How would I do business statistics and analytics for decision making? So let me tell you, I can give you one confidence. All these courses are designed in a way that there is no prerequisite, no pre-knowledge is required. Anybody who joins an MBA program, and I told you in the beginning, MBA program doesn't have a defined specific program input that if BA cannot come or BSc cannot come or only commerce can come or only BBA cannot come. Every stream people can do MBA. So that means the courses which I am talking of, technology based courses, they can be done by all the students from all different disciplines. Any student who has done agriculture can do all these courses. So that's the way they are being designed. So because why they are being designed in such a manner? Because we are not competing with engineers. So I'm not teaching you coding here, right? But I'm telling you that what is the Internet of Things? If you should know that how does washing machine work and how can I control the washing machine from remote? So you should know that understanding, only then you can work in that company or in those companies. So the understanding of business side of technology is required, but pure technology like coding or programming is not required, right? So that's the reason. But this is what is technology. You need to understand technology. Now these are the future-oriented specialization: business analytics, digital marketing, finance technology, right? Healthcare. These are all artificial intelligence, e-commerce, financial consulting, auditing, and taxation. These are all new age specialization. The changes which I talked about, these all specialization cater to those changes, so that you are trained for. Now let me take up digital marketing. Now digital marketing is an area which is definitely required for all the disciplines, and it doesn't include a technology which every discipline student cannot do, right? But maybe yes, for example, if you want to go in for business analytics, then you need to have a little bit statistics understanding, right? But then somebody who is ready to work hard can still do it, right? Healthcare, pharmacy people would generally pick up healthcare as a specialization area, right? Uh, then these are not the only areas for you people. There are 21 different areas, right? Marketing, finance, human resource, operations, retail management, IT, strategy, entrepreneurship, banking, and these are the new age specialization. Let us say agriculture person wants to do a specialization, agribusiness is there, right? Your hospitality, your hospital and healthcare, I already told that pharmacy people can do this. Though I am not limiting that you cannot do anything else, but I'm talking about specifically areas which you probably can do. And if engineering people are also in this session, they can definitely go in for artificial intelligence, right? They can go in for the business analytics. Engineering people can go in for business analytics, digital marketing. So another important dimension of MBA is that there is something for every discipline. It is such a flexible program that it prepares a student of any discipline for career ahead. And because of the wide choices, you can choose the area you want to work in. Right? Let us say if somebody is into fashion and he doesn't want to go in for production, he wants to have his own boutique, or he wants to have his own business, he can do a specialization in entrepreneurship, and he can pick up a second specialization in digital marketing, so he can promote himself as an entrepreneur, right? So you can pick up if I just briefly give you, if you do 12 courses in one area, it is super specialization. If you choose 6 courses in 2 areas, then it is dual specialization. So the example can be an agri-business person can do a specialization in agri-business, and he wants to make his career in agri-marketing. So he can pick up one area as marketing. So it is a dual specialization in agri-business and marketing. So you can make any combination you want depending upon your interest area, right? Moving ahead, I'll briefly talk about a beautiful program we have, which is MBA Honors, and how it is different from MBA. Whatever I spoke till now is MBA. Now I'll quickly give you what is MBA Honors. There would be few courses, 5 to 6 courses, which would be delivered by international or industry faculty, right, in this program. Then the specialization which we will offer would be certification from the industry. For example, I talked about digital marketing certification, then it is by Digital Marketing Institute, Finland. If you do specialization in financial markets, you'll get a certification from NSC. If you do in business analytics, you'll get a certificate from Wiley Next. If you do HR, you'll get a certificate from SHRM, industry certifications. If you do again artificial intelligence, you'll get 3 AI certificate. If you do it in finance, you get KPMG certificate. So that means the certificate you'll do a specialization, but you'll get a certification also from the company. Then we'll give you some money which you can invest in stock market. The university will give you a fund of 20,000 rupees, and you can invest it in the mutual fund, and you can grow that amount, and profit would be yours. So you learn how to make investment, how do companies make investment. Then we'll give you another fund where you can start a business on the campus with that fund. But this fund you'll get based upon a competition. You'll compete in a competition, and if your idea is worth, you can get up to 5 lakh rupees to start the business venture on the campus, right? Then there is an international visit of 5 days to a country like Dubai, Malaysia, and this is not a fun trip. You'll get many, though fun would definitely be involved when you go out. You would have time to visit a lot of places there, but otherwise it would have a lot of guest lectures from the industry people or industrial visits, right? Then there would be another fund which you can use for writing papers, publishing copyright, right? This would be given by again university. So look at, this is one fund which university is giving you. This is another fund which university would be giving you, and the investment seed grant is another fund which is university is giving you, right? So the risk is being shared by the university in this. Then there would be Harvard Business Public Simulation. Harvard is one of the best business school, and from there you will get a simulation to be taught in the class. Then you'll have live projects to do with the industry, and you would get an industry mentor who would guide you how to make career in this industry. So there is a lot of value for money in this program, right? Because generally people ask me that the fees of MBA program is higher than as compared to MBA. So if you get these kind of inputs, I'm sure you would appreciate. You are definitely getting value for money. Then we have another program which is MBA with Talent Edge. Talent Edge is a company, and it is first of its kind corporate program. Talent Edge, you can go to their website, you can figure out, you'll find they are offering programs with best of the institutions in the country like IIM, XLRI, IMT. They would be offering programs with them. So you can be assured of that this is a very good partner. What is good about this program? Placement is provided in the first 6 months of the program. So you join the program and you get placement in first 6 months. And the best part is you will do a paid internship of 9 months during the program in the company where you have been selected. And it is paid internship, you will get paid, right? That means if you are spending money on this program for 9 months, if you are working in the industry during the MBA program, you'll get money back, some part of your money back, right? So that's how you can look at this program. We have 5 areas of specialization in this program: investment banking, sales and marketing, HRM, logistics, and data science and data analytics. These are the 5 areas we are offering in this program. And these are the training and placement partners who have already selected previous batch students. So now, because you are already student of LPU in other programs, you can very well talk to any of our placement coordinators. You can later on ask us, or I can share my number with you all. So if you would like to have more details about anything, you can always get in touch with our placement coordinator, or if you want to get in touch with a present student of these programs, or if you want to get in touch. And we won't have alumni in this program because this is the first year program going on. So we would have students in this program who have already been placed. So you can speak to those students. Then we have 4 more programs which are in tie-up: MBA Business Analytics with Wiley, then MBA Financial Markets with NSC, then we have MBA Supply Chain with Safe Educate, we have MBA with Talent Edge. I just spoke to you, right? MBA with Talent Edge. So these are industry-oriented programs, because most of, in case of business, you see, industry is the lab for us, right? So whatever changes are happening in the industry, these industry partners, they tell us, and we include that in the curriculum and make the changes as per the industry requirement. Then we have 3 more programs: hospital and healthcare management, separate program. Earlier I talked about hospital and healthcare as a specialization. That was in general MBA. Then MBA tourism and hospitality, MBA international business. So I talked about general MBA. Then I talked about MBA honors. Then I talked about industry integrated programs, in which I talked about MBA Talent Edge program separately. Then we have these 3 more programs which we offer in our school. So that means there is a lot of choices. Even if people are from different disciplines, you would always find a program of your interest to study in. Now, the 4th thing which I am talking about is value addition. And this is where, again, you will get pointers that you should compare the program with any other program you are considering. And let me tell you, the best part of the MBA program is not what is happening in the class. It is more to do with what is happening out of the class. Right? It is not a program like sciences where you work in the labs, or it is not a program like arts where you have a lot of theory, or right, but it's a program which generally is about the overall personality development of the student. So the first value add is that it prepares you for decision making in uncertain times. Uncertain time is something which we are passing through right now. When would classes start? We don't know. When would the industry open? Nobody knows. Right? When would this COVID go away? Nobody knows. But can we sit at home? No. If the companies would have started thinking in this way, then every company would have closed down. But there are many companies which would have probably not thought in this way, they closed down. So MBA program trains you for this uncertain times. How? Through simulation, through daily current news analysis. Every day we have a news analysis in the class. The class starts with news analysis. What is Colgate doing? Right? What is Paytm doing in this period of in this COVID times? Right? We do a lot of case studies. What Samsung has done in last 5 years, how they have become successful. What is Netflix have done to disrupt the television industry? We give you a lot of dilemma situations. Let us say there's one dilemma situation these days. Let us say if one person, two patients goes to the doctor. Both need oxygen. Both are critical. One is young, one is old. Whom should doctor save? This is a dilemma situation. How to solve these kind of situations? We prepare you for that. Scenario planning. If tomorrow everybody is vaccinated, how would things happen? Then this is one scenario. Second scenario, if the vaccination is not done, what would happen? So two scenarios. So that's how we will take decisions. Then role plays, experiential learning, outdoor activities, team building activities. This is what is all MBA program all about. But not every institution offer these things, and you need to compare this. That's why I'm stressing time and again. Why LPU? So you need to compare these things with other institutions. Live problem solving. I said industry is our lab. So these companies, BKG, Britannia, Decathlon, Outlook, Capgemini, they come to us and we give these live projects to the students, and I'm giving you data. For example, class of 2021, 584 students have done live project in 45 companies till date. And many of them are work from home because the companies are preparing you to how to work from home. But many of them are in field, many of them are in digital marketing. You can do it from anywhere, right? So a lot of opportunities you should be getting in any MBA program about the live projects. In last 1 year, we have done 150 interactions with people like, look at this, Mr. Kishore Jayaraman, his president Rolls-Royce. We had MD of Nissan Motors coming to us. We had the CSR head of Infosys talking to our students, right? So, and almost most popular universities across the, now this probably this amount we never did when we were physical. But online is such a beautiful opportunity, online option, that people don't need to travel. A president of Rolls-Royce, if he has to travel, that means his at least 3 days are wasted because he has to come by air, because we are not having that good connectivity Amritsar. So entire day goes in one travel. One day he takes session, meets around people. Third day he goes back. So your 2 or 3 days of a person goes waste. But now he doesn't have to waste. He only wastes 1 hour. I mean, that's not a waste. I'm saying from his own schedule, he only has to spend 1 hour. He's sitting in the office. From there only he has to take the session. So that's the reason we have made it possible in last 1 year, 150 plus interactions with our MBA students we have been able to do. And then we did technology focused event with, look at the kind of people we had, right? And it is not engineering dominated summit. This summit is being done by the management school because the changes are happening because of the technology. So business students need to understand technology. So we organized a beautiful program, and it is the latest program. It was on 15th May. I'm sure many of you would have seen these posts. Then industry events. I plan to save Earth, declutter your home, run to peace with SBI Foundation, Media Sports, Sonalika. Why I am time and again highlighting with industry, because I told you, industry is our lab. If we are not working with the industry, then we are not doing a right MBA program. So most of the things should happen with the industry. Plus blended learning, I am sure now by now you understand what is blended learning, face-to-face, online certification. I'm only giving you a number. In last 1 year, we have done 1,000 plus certifications in business school. How we have replaced the assignment with the MOOCs. So student gets an opportunity. Would you like to do an assignment or a certification? So certification from Harvard, certification from Stanford, students prefer that because that adds value to their curriculum vitae, their resume, their biodata, right? But opportunity is provided. Then entrepreneurial opportunity, all of you would know this. If you have spent 3 years of time or 4 years of time in NPU, we have a dedicated startup school which supports the incubation, and these two student ventures are on the campus. You might have visited them. These are management school ventures. If you go to Uni Mall, Aromatica and this venture, you would find are very running successfully, right? So 50 plus ventures have been created by the management school students on the campus. So we prepare you for that, right? Then ultimately all of you are here to make career, right? So even during the COVID times, as of now, the placements are still going on. 90% of the students have been placed. There have been 217 companies who none of them visited on campus, but did the placement drives on through online medium, and the highest package offered was 13.6 lakhs. So our placements didn't get affected. The only point was some of the joining got delayed because the companies are not opening up. Companies are planning to open up in the recent. So the joining may not happen immediately for few companies, but otherwise our placement did not get affected because of the COVID. And I'm sure most of you, if you are in LP for last 3 years, one thing which you would have definitely heard about the business school is our placements, right? And the companies like MRF, Trident, Asian Paints, ITC, Havells, Decathlon, Tech Data, you would have see any brand and you'll find that in this list, right? Now, why you should be doing MBA? I'll give you one quick graph and look at what it talks about. This is, let us say, I hope you understand this. This is years, right? And this may be the profit or economy of the country. The economy of the country right now is going down, right? All of you know that, right? It may be due to pandemic, it may be due to any other reason, but as of now, the economy is going down, right? But it is not a permanent phenomenon. Definitely, it is going to revive and the economy would go up. How fast it would go up, when will it go up? There might be a question on that, right? But if you look at most optimistic approach, you find this period to be for next 2 years, right? And after that, we would have this kind of a period which is known as recovery. When we are talking about this period when everything is going down right now, this is the time when there are a lot of job losses, a lot of people would have lost their jobs, salaries would have been deducted. But this is the period when a lot of jobs are created, because when the economy starts growing, the job market grows, right? So there, after 2 years time, when you will complete your MBA program, the economy, prior to that also maybe in 1 year's time, the economy would start growing and you people would have a lot of opportunities to work upon. So recovery phase always offer better opportunities. That's the reason why you should be doing MBA. And generally it has been proved that whenever there is a recession, you would have heard the term recession, downturn or recession, right? At that time people prefer higher education. And the only reason is the same when I told you, then when they will complete their program, they would be in the recovery phase, and recovery phase would offer better opportunities. And now finally to summarize, right, why MBA at LPU? If you look at my entire presentation, the first is MBA is a program that fits in requirement of every discipline. So everybody has something in this MBA program, and it has the potential to further the career, enhance your career. Second reason why you should do it at LPU is return on investment. You compare the kind of career we give, the kind of value additions we are doing, and the kind of exposure we are giving, and you compare the cost, right, with any of our competitors, right? If you'll be able to understand that we would be giving one of the best return on investment. Updated curriculum mapped with industry requirement, and I told you we have tie-ups with the industry, certifications with the industry. They give us a lot of inputs, and we keep on updating our curriculum as per the industry requirement. This I don't need to explain because you are already familiar with. It's a very vibrant campus life with immense diversity and multidisciplinary exposure. So small institutions, right? If you go to a college close to your home and do an MBA there, you would not get that kind of exposure which is required for an MBA program. You need to have some discipline for example, in MBA program, we also have a workshop which we provide to our students from the arts domain, where they help us develop creativity using clay modeling. Right? We have a workshop which is provided by the hotel management people, how to eat sophisticatedly using fork and knives. So that multidisciplinary exposure is very, very important for MBA students. And this you would also agree that in case of LPU, the inputs were not affected by COVID. It may not happen the face-to-face, but the teachers would have delivered the way they are delivering in the class. They have delivered it through My Class platform. And they delivered the complete same inputs which probably you would have received when you were on the campus. And this is the reason why they have been able to do with this, because we have that world-class faculty available with us. And the final reason which you should be thinking about is ranking and accreditation, because any institution which has rankings and accreditations, that means it is also certified by the government rankings, and it is also certified by the international accreditation that their curriculum is world class. So these are the reasons probably why you should be thinking about doing MBA at LPU. So now I'll move on to the question and answer session. And Rishiji, if quickly we have few questions, we can take up those questions.
Definitely, sir. It was wonderful watching you talking on MBAs, simple MBAs with specializations and honors and with talent edge and so many other options you have given to all the attendees. It was wonderful, wonderful. So we are going to take a few questions which are here with me. Before taking up questions, I again want to announce that all the attendees have an option to ask question to the experts. Please, you can write your question onto the question box, or you can raise your hand. I can directly connect you to the expert, and you have to raise your hand through the interface so that I will be connecting you. I'll come to know and I'll connect you to the expert. Now it's the question which I'm taking from in the text form, which has come to me from Rashmit Srivastav.
Okay.
Rashmit wants to know, will the LPU engineering student will get any special scholarship for completing graduation and joining MBA? I'll take up this question, and definitely you will be having many scholarship possibilities in if you join MBA. Those are based on academics, based on your CGPA, definitely, and LPU Nest you can go in for. The better you perform through LPU Nest, the better category you can get uh, in the scholarship, right? And definitely it is given on to all the details are given onto our website lpu.in, and we have other types of scholarships also based on sports, based on cultural, co-curricular. You can explore all of these, and need-based scholarship is also being started. So explore it through the website and be confident and go ahead with the course you want. And the next query is coming from Vishal Kashyap. He wants to know, I have just completed hotel management from LPU. Which MBA, which specialized or whatever, which is best for me if I go for MBA in LPU?
I think very good question. I'm sure most of us are in this dilemma. Which one is good one for us, right? Though there is no straight answer to this, but look at the what is happening with this tourism and hotel industry right now, right? One of the most affected industry, right? And very less opportunities if somebody is trying to go and work now. But if you ask me which MBA suits you, right? So it depends upon your interest. For example, if you've done your hotel management and you would like to go in for entrepreneurship, where you want to start your own hotel, you want to start your own ticketing agency, you want to start your own tourism company, which have a lot of packages to offer. MBA entrepreneurship would help you, right? And entrepreneurship is a specialization in general MBA. And but if you are very sure of that, if you want to start your own venture, then MBA Honors is a program where then there you can pitch your idea and you can get money up to 5 lakh rupees to start your venture on the campus, right? But any MBA program would prepare you for a career after tourism, right? Now, let us say hotel management is a service industry. So services marketing is a course which you should be doing. That means the marketing is a specialization area which you should be doing. And digital is another area which you can pick up because that gels well with the kind of industry you are from, right? But again, I am giving you a confidence that you take up any MBA program, right? And all the MBA programs, if you choose the right kind of courses in that MBA program, would prepare for you a wonderful career ahead after your undergraduate in hotel management.
Thank you so much, sir. And it was a wonderful answer given to Vishal. Uh, Vishal, I hope you are satisfied with the answer. And we have one more query coming from Harshit Manikonda. Harshit, are you there? I'm giving you the rights. You can unmute yourself and put up your question to Dr. Verma. Um, Harshit, can you hear me? If you can unmute your device and talk to Dr. Verma. Yeah.
Hello.
Yes,
Sir, basically I'm a BTech student.
right.
Which one is best in LPU, either or MBA or MTech at LPU?
Uh, though I had there was another session which I took that was only for BTech MBA, right? Today I talked about all disciplines. Now the question you have asked is whether it is MBA better or it is MTech which is better, right? I would say both of them have their own values,
Yes, sir.
right? Now somebody who wants to go into more of research or research oriented, right, dimension, then he should be going in for MTech. But if you want to because you have already got 4 years of skill with you, 4 years of technology skills with you. So you want to top up it with the managerial skills, then MBA is the option which you should be availing. So both options are good. It depends upon your interest. If you would like to go in for more of research and more of in-depth understanding of the technologies you have, then MTech, prefer MTech. But if ultimately you want to make a career in industry and you want to grow faster, then as compared to MTech, I'll say MBA person within BTech would have a better career prospect in the industry to grow faster.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
And another, just to add to your point, I did not talk about the specializations which the BTech student should take. For example, we have technology-based product development as a specialization. right? Which I didn't speak about today. Now, the engineers prefer this as a specialization because we are talking about product development, technology-based product development. Then we have a specialization in data science and analytics, right? So these are some areas which the engineering student can pick up, which would get them the understanding of management side of technology rather than pure technical, which you have already been through. This courses would give, these specializations would give you an understanding of management side of technology, right? So this you can couple up with pure management skills like marketing, finance, HR. So that it makes a beautiful career prospect for the BTech students.
So, Harshit, the most elaborate answer that you have got from Dr. Verma, and hope you'll make the maximum out of it.
Yes, yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you.
So next we have Tenzin. Tenzin with us, and Tenzin, I'm connecting you to Dr. Verma, and please unmute yourself and put up your question. So it's something about Talent Edge, I know. Tenzin, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
So I want to talk about Talent Edge. So, how will the placement drive follow through with respect to Talent Edge if I already have internship in a company?
But you are which program student right now?
I'm BTech student.
So you would have passed out from BTech now, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you are joining the MBA Talent Edge program, so you would not have an internship, right? But if
No,
you are
sir.
asking me how internship would happen in the Talent Edge program, that's what you are asking, right?
Yeah, you said so. I will be doing an internship in company if I choose Talent Edge.
Yeah,
So,
right.
how will the placement be happen in that case?
Good question. I think I'll clarify it to you. Uh, just a minute. So I think, let us say the MBA program is of 24 months, right? 2 years, that means 24 months. Now, the first 6 months, I said you will get placed. The companies would come, your placement drives would happen in first 6 months. So you'll get placed in first 6 months. We are teaching you during that first 6 months. LPU faculty members are teaching you, right? And during that period, the companies are also coming and recruiting you. Next 6 months time probably would be when the company people would come and teach you. In the company where you have been selected, those company people would come and teach your courses. And in last 9 months of the program, you would go for an internship in the same company. When you complete the 9 months there, after that your job starts with that same company. So you're doing the 9 month internship with the same company, which is paid. Once the 9 months are completed, you are being absorbed as an employee of that company. So it means out of 24 months, if 9 months go away, we are left with 15 months. So your training, your teaching, your classes go on for 15 months, and last 9 months you go in for training, but you get placed in the first 6 months. I hope then I have clarified your doubt.
Yes, sir.
Any
Thank you, sir.
other query you have?
No, sir.
Right.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Verma. Next, we have, due to dearth of time, we won't be taking up many queries, but yes, we can take up one more. Vijay Krishna. Vijay Krishna, I'm giving you the rights. If you can unmute yourself, you'll, yeah, yeah, please unmute. We got your voice, but you have again muted yourself. Vijay Krishna. He has put his question. After 10 plus 2, I want to do MBA integrated. How many years it takes? And yeah,
Was there any other question, or is it over?
it's related to the fee of that.
Okay. So I think again a good question, though I didn't talk about integrated here. After +2, if you want to do integrated MBA, it is 4 years, right? It is BBA MBA integrated. If you are, I'm assuming it you from the BBA discipline. Though +2 can be from any discipline, but I hope you are talking about BBA MBA integrated. So it's a 4-year program. Now, the only one advantage which I'll talk about here is that let us say if you do BBA separately 3 years and you do 2 years MBA, it is 5 years program, you are saving 1 year. But a better value is that in case of BBA and MBA, there are a lot of courses which are similar. You study marketing in BBA also, you study marketing in MBA also. But in case of BBA MBA integrated, there is no duplication of courses, right? Because that is a PG and UG program, so you have to have courses of that nature. But in case of integrated program, you have no duplication in the courses. But I'm sure I have answered your question that it is 4-year program, you save 1 year.
And it's for thank you so much, Dr. Verma, first of all. And then coming back to the queries regarding fee and the courses, it's all available definitely on our website, that is lpu.in. Under the head admissions, you go and you can see all the programs from your desired discipline, and along with the subjects and a brief about the subjects also, first year subjects, second year subjects, along with the scholarship, some of the industries, some of the placement data also. Everything is available. You go and spend some time visiting lpu.in. That was all from the students, sir, and it's time to say thank you to you formally. And I'm sure the attendees gained valuable insight into the university and career options. We hope it was a positive experience for Dr. Verma as well. The information you shared was very, very enlightening, sir. During this exclusive webinar on why MBA at LPU, attendees heard from Dr. Verma as on how to have a successful career in this field and what are the career options. So hopefully you found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information provided in this webinar to take a better decision regarding your admissions. And I am highly obliged and once again thankful to Dr. Verma for strengthening this platform. Any note from you, sir?
Thank you very much, Rishiji. And I think if the students have any further query, they know whom to contact with because they are LPU students, so they can get in touch with anybody in our department or in the admissions, and most of the information is available on website also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.